Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to demonstrate is how to make how to shade a cube. So before we shade the cube, we're going to draw the cube, and I'm going to draw it using 2-point perspective. Okay, so the way that I like to set this up is I'm just going to put my ruler down here, okay, to create like a horizon line, and then I'm just going to put 2 points. I'm going to go about 1/4 of an inch in from either side of the paper on either side of the paper. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make my cube just slightly above those 2 vanishing points. I'm going to draw a center line, so kind of down like the front corner of the cube that's going to be facing me. I'm going to make that about 2 inches tall. So nice vertical line, 2 inches tall. Again, I'm using my HB. You should use your 6H for this. Okay. Then I'm going to connect the top and the bottoms of that vertical line to each of the vanishing points. Okay, you might remember that these lines are called orthogonal lines. So I'm drawing them pretty lightly. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see them on the video, but again, you can see that I'm taking my ruler, I'm lining one end of the ruler up with the vanishing point on the left here, the other side with both the top and the bottom of that vertical line that's going to make the corner of my cube. And then I'm going to do the same, only with the vanishing point on the right side. Okay, at this point, I'm going to add 2 more vertical lines to my cube. Okay, and I'm just going to go like about there. You want it to be like a cube, not like, you know, a kind of rectangular-ish, like longish form. Okay, so vertical line, connecting the top orthogonal to the bottom orthogonal. Then I'm going to do the same on the right side. And then because I drew this vertical line, the first one, which is the corner of the cube, above the 2 vanishing points, I now have to draw in the bottom of the cube. So this is the part that I find that students find the most tricky. Basically what you want to do is you want to connect a vanishing point with the opposite side of the vertical line that you did, either like second or third. So this is like the left side of the cube. So for the bottom, I'm going to connect that bottom left corner to the right vanishing point, okay, with an orthogonal line. Okay, a line that leads back to the vanishing point. Then I'm going to do the same over here. So the right side of the cube is getting connected to the left vanishing point. Okay, and so now I have a left side, a right side, and a bottom of my cube. At this point, I can go in and I can erase my orthogonal lines. So for that, I'm going to use my white eraser. I'm going to erase my vanishing points as well. Just to make nice, clean craftsmanship. And the next thing will be shading a cube. So a cube, because the sides are all angled differently from each other, they're all going to reflect the value differently, so or reflect a different value. And so what actually makes the contrast of the edges of the cube is the contrast of the values. Now this I am talking about I'm talking about when a cube is being hit by one direct light source, okay? If you're ever like not quite sure, like you don't believe me, or you just need to see this, you can always just grab like a white box. We actually have some in the classroom. You're welcome to. They're in the still life cabinet, or the cabinet to the left of the still life cabinet, and just take one of our lights that's in the classroom and just illuminate that cube from with one light source, and you'll see that like each side of the cube will have a different value. Right now, I'm just gonna take you through the shading for this. And so I am going to apply a different value to each side of this cube. Okay, so opposite the light source is going to be the bottom of the cube, and so I'm going to shade that in with a 6B. When I shade parallel to the edges of the cube, or as best I can on the bottom, because both edges are going back into the vanishing points. You kind of have to change your angle as you shade.
The other side that I'm shading now, I'm using on 2H to shade that side, and I'm going to make this my lightest side of the cube, and you'll see I'm shading kind of back towards that vanishing point when I shade horizontally, filling in my gaps as I go. I rotate my paper. I keep that cloth under my hand just to protect my hand from smudging any parts of the exercise that I've completed so far. And then I'm just going to make sure that everything's nice, tidied up, shading to the edge. Okay, now for the last side, this is going to be the middle value, and here I am using the HB pencil. And so the nice thing is it's a lighter value, so it's going to contrast with the bottom of the cube, but it's a darker value than the side that I just recently did. And so that line that I actually used the wrong pencil with, the vertical line that I started with when drawing the cube, is going to blend in with the value that I'm placing there. And so it will no longer feel outlined. Instead, each side will contrast with each other. Okay, just tidying up those values and then cleaning up the edges with an eraser, making sure that everything is good to go, nice good craftsmanship, nice even values, and you have a cube.